So first things first, this is how the machine is supposed to be set up. You got your stand, you got the machine, and then you got your thread stand. So I'm going to teach you how it's threaded. I'm going to use number 1, the yellow. So it goes down around through the tubing, comes under in between these, to the left, goes down, goes up, and then to the left of it, goes back down, hooked, goes down, goes up, goes clockwise, to the left, in between, down, and then it's going to go between first pink, the black hoop, second pink, up, through the little hole here, back down, to the second hole, behind this guy, down, through the hole, then it's going to get threaded straight into the needle, and then it's going to go under this guy here, and then it goes down. So again, down, through the needle, under, out, and then you loop it up right here. I'm going to teach you how to get the needle into the bobbin. So what you do is once you have your tension nice and tight and right, you pull the thread out a little just like that, and then you're going to press the scissor icon right there. So once you pull it, it's going to come down, it's going to cut it, and it's going to put it in place. And then scissor button now. And that's how it loads it up. What I'm going to show you how to do is how to thread the bobbin. And the way you pull out the bobbin is with this little lever right here, and you get your bobbin. And what I usually do is I put it in to make sure that it spins counterclockwise. So make sure that it's spinning counterclockwise. You give some pull, and then you're going to find this little slit right there. I don't know if you could see it. Yeah, you slit it right there, and then you're going to pull that up until you reach into this little hole right there. And once it's like that, you give it some more pull, and then you're going to have to wrap it around this little metal guy right here. Very simple. What I do is just pull it, put it on top of it, and then just pull it under, and just like that, it should be in. And when your bobbin's ready, just pull this back and then put it back into your machine. What I'm going to show you now is how to remove and put back your bobbin. The bobbin's located right under the needle plate, and the way you remove it is by pulling this little lever on the side right here. You pull it, and then you pull out. In doing so, your bobbin and your bobbin case will come out, and when you want to replace it or you need to put a different color or whatever your preference, just make sure that it's threaded through the little wire right there. And the same way, you just put it back in until you hear a click. And once you hear that click, it means the bobbin is in place. And this you can cut with scissors. What I'm going to show you now is how to hoop a piece of fabric onto your hoops. So what you do is, first things first, is to give your hoops a good nice squeeze. Make sure it's nicely tight when you put it in. Not too tight, just a little loose, and if it's too loose or too tight, you screw it right here. So once I get a good feeling that it's going down and it's gripping, like nice and tight, like I could almost just barely squeeze through, that's when I get my fabric, and I make sure these guys are touching the floor. And remember that the way you throw in the fabric, it's going to be upside down. So if the metal's on the floor, I throw in my fabric, I grab my other side of the hoop, and then I throw it over, pinch one side first, and then squeeze it in. And when you start doing that, you're going to feel the fabric getting a little tight, so you just kind of squeeze in each corner. There you go. Until it starts to go in, just like that. It may take a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of force, but once it's in, it's going to start giving shape. You lift up and you pinch down like this, all around it. And doing that, it's ready to go, and it's got to be nice and tight. And that's pretty much it. Once you have your arms installed, you use this little guy to tie them in, and depending on what size hoop you use is what you slide in. So if I'm using a square one, I match out the knots on this side and on the knots on that side. And hey Jay, can you hold this for me now? And then Once you get your fabric nice and tight in there, you slide it. That's that. The tip is how to move your needles around. Sorry. So your needles are right here under this icon. And once you click it, you're going to see all your needles right here. So say I'm on needle 3, now I want to move to needle number 11. I can use 11, and the needles will start moving for me. And then again, to your needles, back to number 3. Just in case you're doing stitches manually, you can manually do like that. Or see how it's on number 3 needle. You could use this knob to turn it either to number 2 or number 4. Sorry. There you go, number 4. And you can read it right there. So now it's on set number 4. What I'll show you next is how to get a design from your USB into your machine. So first, you plug in your USB on the side of your machine. You go to the floppy disk icon. You give the machine a couple seconds. And it should be popping up. You press it. And say these were your design right here. You wanted to see if this one was it. Letter R. What you do, you click on it and you save with this little green icon, and you save it as number 1. And depending on your designs, you just you save them as accordingly to your numbers. You go back, you go to your designs, and the R is right there for you. Now is how to rotate one of your designs, just in case you're doing hats like that. You want to be able to do it upside down so the machine can sew it correctly. What you do is go to your designs, you pick your design, you load it up. Wait, no, you don't load it up actually. You go to your settings, direction, and since it's a P, you need it upside down, which that makes a B, or a D, sorry. You confirm it, you go back, you load it up, and your design should be backwards. What I'm going to show you next is how to change the colors on your design. What you do first is choose this guy, and your design should load up. And what I do first, before anything, I choose these to match up my needles correctly. So number 1 is yellow, number 2 is burgundy. So my next one over would be red. So number 3 would be number red. And once that goes on for all your needles, you press OK. And once that loads up, you can put both burgundy if you want. So number 1 could be burgundy, or sorry, number 1 could be burgundy, and number 2 could be yellow. See how you can do that? And you do that to your design until you have the right colorway, and then once you have it, you press OK. And when you load it up, your needles should be accordingly right here, in order. This is how to stop your machine in case of any emergency with using this button. So right now, I have my machine pretending it's sewing. So just in case anything happens, something was wrong in this fabric, or something was needed to be stopped, what I do is just press the button right on top, and it shuts the machine right off. But what you do need to remember is that when it presses down, it's gonna lock. So when you press down and you forget to unlock it, when you turn on the machine, it will do this. It's going to turn off right away. So make sure it's completely off. You go to the back of the machine, you press your button, and the machine should just turn on like normal. What I'm going to show you is how to change languages, just in case you're comfortable with another language. You go all over to the end, you choose this guy, the language, and for me, I have English, but there's other options for other ones, so click the one that's perfect for you, and it should load up into that language. The tip is the question bar, which is located right at the end. This will give you an overview of what the buttons do, just in case you need a refresh on anything. It gives you details, so you can see what each one does and how to use them. And again, that's the question mark at the end.